Volkswagen do Brasil really made a name for themselves in the 70s, with cars like the SP2 and Brasilia. But once the 80s hit, they managed to create an even bigger South American legend, the Volkswagen Gol. Go watch part 1 to see Volkswagen do Brasil rise from a production-only factory to a full-fledged design firm. After the Brasilia had already been in production since 1973 with an aging Type 4 platform, VW was looking for a slightly more modern vehicle that still used an air-cooled engine. Brazil was absolutely obsessed with air-cooled, still driving Beetles to this day, meaning VW had to think different when designing a new car. Using external design cues seen on the B1 Passat and building an air-cooled engine previously only used in concepts, VW do Brasil created the Gol. Not only did this car look different from the Golf and Passat, but it also sat on a completely different platform called BX. Even the name Gol kind of sounds like golf, though Gol comes from the word goal due to Brazil's love for soccer or football. The air-cooled engine on the Gol was both mounted in the front and longitudinally, making it closer to the Passat than the Golf. The Gol was also front-wheel drive, just adding to the bizarre nature of this platform. 1980 saw the Gol released to the public, with a 1.3-liter engine pushing 42 horsepower. Not very impressive. 1981, they managed to bump it up to a 1.6-liter with 51 horsepower, due to dual carbs. But still, the 9 horsepower difference really didn't change much. It took up to 1985 for the Gol to get its first water-cooled engine, that being the 1.6-liter found in the Passat. This engine size would continue to increase all the way up to a 2.0-liter. Engines aside, the Gol had a variety of cars built on its platform. 1981, the Voyage two-door was released, this being the sedan version of the Gol. 1982 had the Severo Ute appear, and 1983 was the unveiling of the Parati, a two-door wagon. You may actually recognize two of these vehicles. That's because in 1987, the Voyage two-door and four-door, as well as the Parati, were sold in the US under the nameplate Fox. The Fox was actually marketed as the budget Volkswagen and only sold with a water-cooled 1.8-liter. And I've always got to mention this, but I do own the two-door wagon version of the Fox, or Parati. While the Fox was being sold, Brazil just kept facelifting their BX cars. Stay tuned for part 3 where we dive a little bit more into VW do Brasil.